Hey, it's Pierre from Squash Source. I have a review today of 3 different rackets from Xamsa. Big thanks to Tim from Xamsa for sending me these rackets to test out and review for everybody. So I'm going to go through them one by one. We have the Xamsa Onyx Incognito. This is a variation on the Xamsa Onyx. I did a review for this previously, which you can check out separately. They are the same mold and same stringing pattern, 14 by 18, but the Onyx Incognito has a slightly different construction from the original Onyx, and the net result of that is that it is 9 grams less than the original Onyx. This weighed in at 142 grams on my scale versus 151 for the other Onyx. This also had a balance point of 36.5, so just a touch head heavy versus 36 for the other one. And they both have a 14 by 18 fan-shaped stringing pattern in a teardrop frame. The Incognito version also has an exposed graphite look to it, which you can see there. And I'll show you the other one for comparison. The original had more of a painted, sort of glossy black covering. So the Incognito has that exposed graphite look. The second racket I want to show you today is called the Xamsa Obsidian Incognito. This is also an Incognito version of the Xamsa Obsidian, which was another one that I reviewed a few months ago. Here's the original Obsidian and the new one side by side. Once again, the difference is the construction. The new one has the same exposed graphite. It's got an even more Incognito appearance than the original Obsidian. Same stringing pattern of 14 by 18, and it has a large traditional head shape with a traditional stringing pattern. This weighed in at 143 grams versus 153 for the prior model, so this was a bit later. And this also had a 36.5 centimeter balance point, which I think was just a teensy bit head heavier than the prior Obsidian, but is actually, yeah, and it's just a touch head heavy overall, I would say. The third racket has actually not been officially named yet, and you have an opportunity, if you're watching this video when it's coming out, to help name this racket. Xamsa is doing a poll as to what they should call this. It's going to be a Xamsa Obsidian something. The Incognito has been taken, and this needs a new name, the Xamsa Obsidian something. And the differentiating feature is that it has no top bumper guard. It has more like eye rackets, if you're familiar with those, the eyelets for the stringing, and then the frame itself is just, there's no bumper guard. So the theory is that most rackets don't have any additional protection from the bumper guard, and that most breaks don't occur in that area. So this is going to allows you to have a slightly lighter racket, or various variations on your frame. And so what Xamsa has done is they've made a more dense stringing pattern. It's a 16 by 19 stringing pattern instead of 14 by 18, but the overall balance of it has remained, let's see, this came in 143 grams, so it's actually the same as the one with the fewer strings. So that's the weight that's been taken out of the bumper allows it to be this same light weight, but have the additional more dense stringing pattern, which gives you, in my opinion, somewhat additional feel on the ball. And many people have a preference for that. You can see as I've been playing with it that this has gotten some scuff marks from taking balls tight off the wall. It's not damage on the racket that makes it unplayable, but it is going to, you're gonna get a patina on this racket as you play with it and scrape balls off the wall. It leaves sort of a little of the graphite exposed underneath. So let me show you the cosmetics. They're all look quite similar. Actually, the two Incognito ones look similar. They've got the graphite look and very Incognito, true to the name, styling. There's not much branding on these. You can sort of make out maybe an X up top here, and here's the famous Xamsa up and down butt of the racket with the arrow. Same with the Obsidian Incognito, very subtle branding. It says Samsa in the throat here. It's hard to even probably make it out, but you can see it there. And again, up and down. And this is the bumper guard, of course, on this model versus the other version. And then finally, the unnamed third version, the Obsidian unnamed one, it doesn't have the exposed graphite. It has more kind of like a matte black color scheme on the paint job, and like I said, the different stringing pattern. In terms of the ranking, I preferred the Incognito Obsidian the best. I was enjoying that it felt very forgiving in that it has a big head. It had just enough of a little bit of weight in the head and a little bit of stiffness that, I don't know, maybe the bumper guard gave it or whatever, that had me favoring this over the one with without the bumper guard. So that was my favorite of the bunch, and I think my next favorite, maybe snuck into second place, is the Onyx. The point I want to make about this one is with its teardrop head, it's quite large, and a fan stringing pattern, you get, in my view, a quite substantial sweet spot and a lot of response when you hit with this racket. The ball comes off it very lively, and my only trouble with this, no trouble with power, definitely with this racket, it's a very powerful one, but I had a little more trouble getting the ball to sit down on my touch shots just because of how lively it was.